What's up, everybody? Welcome back to D's Corner. I am your host, D. Thank you for rocking with me. Hey, I appreciate all the likes, subscribe, all the shares, the comments. I really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber, please hit the subscribe button. Don't forget to like and share. Um, I have mock drafts coming out all the way up until the draft. We have a lot of good things coming out. Also, check me out on the Double D's podcast. Um, but today we are going to dive into the five teams that I think pose the biggest threat to the Kansas City Chiefs. Spoiler alert: three of these teams are in the same division, so we'll see how that goes. But you have to remember, you got to win the division to even be invited to the playoffs. Let's just go ahead and talk about it right now. We'll jump right into the video. The Kansas City Chiefs, really, what is there to be said? They are aiming for history here. They're aiming to try to be the first team to three-peat. And when you have that guy 1-5, anything's possible, especially when you have Andy Reid. When you look at what they were able to do last year with the worst group of pass catchers based off drops and everything, the Rashee Rice incident, him speeding and being young and dumb and whatever that situation is, we'll see how that folds out. But Kansas City, this is a deep offensive draft, especially at the wide receiver position. So Kansas City is definitely in a position to even be scarier next year. The addition of Hollywood Brown, they brought back Chris Jones. They did lose L'Jarius Sneed, but be on the lookout to see if Xavier Howard is a team. I mean, if the Chiefs are a team that Xavier Howard will sign to after the draft. I really, really think that was going to happen. But let's just go ahead and jump into the first. This is no order or anything like this. Some of these teams do have some issues, but there's one team that I've been speaking of from the start of the offseason before free agency, and that's going to be my last team, and that's the team I think poses the biggest threat. But let's start off the New York Jets. I think the New York Jets are all in this year. And you kind of have to be when you have an aging quarterback coming off of an injury. But when you look at this defense and what they're able to do, what they did in the offseason as far as additions in the offensive line, you have shored up with your left tackle with Tyron Smith. You have Morgan Moses on the right side. They also signed John Simpson, as well as Elijah Vera Tucker and Joe Tippmann. They already have there in place. They are primed right now. Also, I forgot to mention the addition of Mike Williams. Now, I know we all have the same question. Can this team stay healthy? Obviously, that is something that we cannot predict. So we're going to just go with the what if. If they were healthy, I think this team is the AFC East winners. I believe Buffalo wholeheartedly, and I believe this before Buffalo even traded Stephon Diggs, that their Super Bowl window was, if not closed, just about, and I am 100% sure that it is closed now. Buffalo could be a team based off the moves that they've made, the players that they've lost, and really Josh Allen's contract's kicking in. So now what are we going to do? You have a bunch of big time contracts still with Ed Oliver, Von Miller. It's just, we'll see how that goes. Also, the Miami Dolphins, they were in a cap situation. Now, they did have a pretty good offseason, in my opinion, especially during free agency. We still have the draft where they can kind of move and continue to build their team. But this team wasn't really that. The Dolphins, they really didn't play a style of football that translated to the playoffs. So we'll see how that goes. But Aaron Rodgers healthy, Mike Williams healthy. You have Brees Hall, Garrett Wilson, a solid offensive line, a phenomenal defense, and you still are set in the draft with the 10th pick that you can trade back. You can get a premier left tackle. You can get Brock Bowers. You can get another weapon, where you trade back for even more picks to continue to build. New York Jets are a team to look out for, again, barring health. If healthy, this is a team that can compete. Cincinnati, you have Joe Burrow. He's the only quarterback in the NFL who's beaten Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. So obviously they're here. Now, I do like some of the additions that they made, bringing in Trent Brown to man the right tackle position. Now you have 2 6'8" monsters protecting your quarterback. The only issue that I have with Cincinnati is, it seems since Joe has been in the league every single year, he has been attempting to rehab during the off season, during training camp, and I don't know that they really get rolling, but the 1 year he was healthy, he was in the Super Bowl. So I definitely think that Cincinnati can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs, but there are some looming questions here as well. You lost Joe Mixon. What's your running game going to look like? They did bring in Zach Moss. Um, what's the T. Higgins situation going to look like? Is he going to hold out? Are we going to trade him? What's the case with that? There are minimal defensive losses. DJ Reader obviously was a big one. So we'll see how that is able to be filled. But right now, this is an offensive game. Cincinnati has a pretty good offense, pretty good weapons, and a pretty good gunslinger. So they are a team positioned to be able to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. The Cleveland Browns. Now you'll see a pattern here with the next team as well. This AFC North team, this AFC North division is probably going to be the most physical division in all of football. Again, the Browns, similar to the Jets, we'll see how they have to do dealing with health, coming back with Deshaun's injury as well as Nick Chubb's injury. But I love the trade for Jerry Jeudy, pairing him with Amari Cooper, David Njoku. You still do have a solid offensive line. This defense can carry you. This defense can get after you. This defense is coming back fully stocked again, and we still have the draft to go. So I really like what Cleveland is doing. We'll see how they're able to continue to grow and build, see if they're able to get Deshaun Watson rolling. The game that he did get hurt, he started to play a little bit like himself. So that was a positive aspect. So you'll see how the things go with the Cleveland Browns. But also, like I said, like the Jets, health is their biggest issue right now. But when you have a player like Myles Garrett, you have Grant Delpit, you have I can't think of the linebacker's name, but this is a solid defense. Players everywhere. Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome in the secondary. This is a really, really, really versatile defense. They are going to get after you, and they're going to be physical. And this is something that the Cleveland Browns will definitely need playing in the AFC North. The Baltimore Ravens, yes, we know they added Derrick Henry. I really love that addition. That was a prediction of mine in my free agent video. It just made perfect sense to me. What I didn't predict was them losing 3 of their starting offensive linemen. Now that like the other 3 teams, you will notice these teams all have questions. They all have some form of concern. You lost players on Baltimore. Again, I spoke of the 3 starting offensive linemen, but you also lost Patrick Queen, who was playing phenomenal next to Roquan Smith. We'll see how that goes. You lost Geno Stone, who was also playing phenomenally in secondary as your third safety. You do still need cornerback help. We'll see how everything goes. We'll have a healthy Mark Andrews with Isaiah Likely. You still have your weapons. So Baltimore, you know where they're going to be able to run the ball. Derrick Henry just makes that rushing attack so much more dangerous, so much more aggressive that you're going to have to stack the boxes. So you will give your pass catchers an opportunity to win. But we saw how, in my opinion, these players that we compare to Patrick Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen, I won't say Joe Burrow, but those 2 specifically, it's like when the lights are the brightest, Pat steps up and Pat has these boys playing under pressure. They're trying to make 10-point plays. They're trying to make 13-point plays. They're trying to make the biggest plays that they can. They're doing too much instead of playing their normal game and being who they truly are. So we'll see what the Baltimore Ravens are able to come up with and do within the draft. They usually draft pretty well. They're known for defense and they're known for their rushing attack. So I believe those 2 things will be okay. Now, you did lose 3 coaches on your defensive staff. So now we will see, obviously one of them being your defensive coordinator, we will see how impactful that truly is. But again, Baltimore is known for defense. But playing in the AFC North against the Steelers, against the Browns, against the Bengals, that's a slobber knocker division right there. So we'll see. 3 of the 5 teams that I have are all in the same division. So realistically, One of them can be knocked off, but three of these teams made the playoffs last year. Cincinnati didn't make it with Joe Burrow being hurt. But now my final team, and I said this team was the team that I felt could compete with the Kansas City Chiefs the most based off the quarterback and the quarterback alone. And that's the Houston Texans. When you look at what this team has done this offseason, adding Stephon Diggs for a second round pick next year while getting two later round picks this year, the way they worked this contract, voiding out years, giving him a little bit of money up front so that he is a free agent this year, so that he has to be all in, playing 3 hours away from his brother, no state taxes, playing in a dome, great weather, an accurate quarterback, and he's not going to be required to be the guy. Tank Dell and Nico Collins played phenomenal football. Dalton Schultz is a great tight end. And then you add in Joe Mixon, my God, you're going to be able to really run away, in my opinion, with the AFC South. And I'm a Colts fan. The Titans, I don't believe in the Titans. The Jaguars, I don't believe in the Jaguars. And the Colts, we re-signed a lot of our free agents. We'll see what they do. We'll see what we do come draft time. Ballard's known for trading back. We'll see what we're able to do here. But the Houston Texans, and they have that guy leading the charge in D'Amico Ryans, understanding what it is to be a Texan, as he has played for the franchise. But just looking at this offense, he's a defensive-minded coach. And one thing that I do like, unlike the Ravens, they lost no coaches. They will be coming back humming. They will be coming back knowing every single thing that they have to do, knowing the playbook, having the chemistry, and all they have to do is continue to build. That's a really, 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 really great position to be in as an offensive team, especially when you come out during training camp. 9 times out of 10, the defense is flying around faster than the offense because the offense is thinking while they're going over plays. Defense is just reacting. These guys are just going to be reacting. And what I love is Stephon's already working out with C.J. Stroud. He changed his number to 1. The Houston area code is 713. So we'll see how well that 713 pulls off. But I definitely am a fan of what the Houston Texans have done, especially coming from where they've been, how they've been, especially the past few years. But they are really, really, really the number one team that I feel in the AFC that can compete with the Kansas City Chiefs. And if there's gonna be any team that knocks them off from three-peating, I personally believe that it would be the Houston Texans. CJ Stroud's phenomenal. That defense is phenomenal. Adam Daniil Hunter, opposite of the defensive rookie of the year. You're giving the offensive rookie of the year so many more weapons, as well as a running game. He went to Cincinnati. He beat Joe Burrow. He beat the Cleveland Browns, obviously without Deshaun Watson, but that's when the Cleveland Browns were rolling. Now, they did get beat by the Baltimore Ravens, but the Baltimore Ravens may not be that same team come this year, especially defensively as well as offensively. Now we know with the addition of King Henry. So, like I said, I really, 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 really love what the Houston Texans have done this offseason. And as a Colts fan, I am so torn in that because I hate it from a Colts standpoint, but from just a football standpoint, you have got to love it. They really, you can say they stole from the Buffalo Bills, but kind of the Buffalo Bills really gave Stephon Diggs away. But look what he was able to be for Josh Allen early, making tough catches and everything. And C.J. Stroud is a much more accurate quarterback than Josh Allen, and you're not going to be playing in the elements a lot. They're in a dome. Jacksonville is good weather. Tennessee is usually good weather, as well as Indianapolis is also in a dome. So you got to beat your division to get in. Right now, it looks like Houston is going to a degree, run away with the AFC South. So I really like what the Houston Texans are doing. So again, guys, that's my video. Those are my top 5 teams that I feel have posed the biggest threat for the Kansas City Chiefs. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'm working on some new things here, new camera as well as a microphone. We'll see how that works. Any advice on what I can do to make my channel grow, to make my platform better, please let me know. I'm definitely trying to grind this thing out, and I appreciate you for rocking with me. Y'all have a good one.